In today's video, we're going to discuss the importance of cardio and martial arts training, so stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Matt Field, and I'm the owner and head instructor here at Cobourg Taekwondo. And like I said, today's video we're going to discuss the importance of cardiovascular training when it comes to martial arts. Now, martial arts in general is really good for people that want to get cardiovascular conditioning, but if you want to improve your martial art, you want to get to a higher level, extra cardiovascular training could be what you need. Some martial arts, such as like Taekwondo, Kickboxing, boxing, and other styles such as those that are more on the competitive side of things, you already get a really good cardio, especially when you're doing sparring, mitt work, bag work, where you're actually doing 1, 2, 3 minute rounds, up to even 5 minutes if you're like MMA style martial art, and you are up against a partner. You're gonna work harder when you have a partner pushing you, but sometimes that's not all you get. You really need to make sure you have good cardiovascular conditioning. If you have good cardio, you're going to be able to last longer in your chosen martial arts training. You're going to be able to go longer and harder. You're going to be able to outwork your partner or opponent, or if God forbid you ever had to use your martial art in self-defense, you're going to need really good cardiovascular training and conditioning to outlast your attacker. Now, that being said, there's all kinds of forms of cardio, right? Some are not equal to other ones. Some are easier, some are harder. And it can vary from person to person. Some people can go out and run a long distance, and it's not a lot of cardio for them. Next person can go out and do a little bit of running, and that's like a cardio overload for them. So cardio training and conditioning is actually very specific to you as a person, as well as what your training goals are and what style of martial art you're doing. Some of the different forms of cardiovascular training that you could do is running, whether that be out on track, out on the road, on a treadmill like I'm standing on here at the Dojang or Academy here. And when I say running can vary. Running can be slow-paced running for a long distance, so that's a little bit more endurance style cardiovascular training, a little bit more what they call steady state cardio. You can also have more like sprinting, where you sprint for a predetermined amount of time or distance, as hard as you can for, like I said, it could be a couple 100 meters, or it could be hard as you can for 10, 15, 20 seconds on a treadmill, and then you either stop and rest, or you slow the pace down to a nice leisurely walk, and you do several sets of those. So that would help mimic when like you're fighting or you're sparring, when you get into a class and you gotta go a little bit harder. That kind of helps with that. Again, up to you on that. Another form that I like, I do like to run here and there, not very often. I find them a little bit hard on my knee. That's going to be a factor too. But if you're finding that running is really hard on the knee, you might want to find something that's a little bit easier on you. And again, it's just very from person to person. Another good form of cardio that I like is using a jump rope or a skip rope, depending if you're in Canada or US. And I like what I like about using a skipping rope or jumping rope is that it helps you not just with your cardio, it helps you develop or discover your rhythm. We all have a natural rhythm as far as how we move, like in sparring, and the jump rope will help you figure out that rhythm and then play with the rhythm. But also, it's actually really good for learning how to stand with all of your feet, calf conditioning, and you can vary the speed from going slow to a moderate to a heavy pace. You can do different footwork, moving forward, backward, side to side, using 1 foot, 2 feet, alternating feet, jumping high, doing 2 or 3 revolutions before you hit the ground. Plus, you get the arms going, so kind of mimicking a little bit of the arm movement in martial arts as well. Skipping's a good one. Another good one if you want a little bit lower impact one, but still want to get a good workout, good cardio, and really good for conditioning the legs, glutes, the quads, the hams, the calf, and even the core. Lower back is cycling, so riding a bicycle. Again, just like running, you can go slow for a little bit more endurance style, you can go faster for more intense cardio. Again, it all depends on what your goal is. And there's also other machines like steppers, like tread climbers, you got the ellipticals, you got air bikes. There's so many different cardio machines out there. Again, pick the one that best suits you, or better yet, have a combination. Also, kettlebells. Kettlebells is also a really good cardiovascular condition, very low impact on the joint, and you probably can't see, but I have literally from 5 pound kettlebells up to 75 over in the corner here, so you can use various weights. The heavier, the harder you have to work. Again, you can go for a little bit lighter dumbbell kettlebell and go for longer periods of time to work your endurance. You can go for heavier kettlebell and go for a shorter amount of time to really spike that heart rate up. It also depends on the exercise. Just normal kettlebell swing is less intense than doing single or double kettlebell snatches, which is a lot more cardiovascular. Again, that can also vary from person to person. But the whole thing is, whatever type of cardio you pick, and there's all kinds of them, or a mixture of them, you want to make sure they reflect your goals in the martial arts and what your specific martial arts are. So, a few examples would be, let's say you're doing a more of a grappling style like jiu-jitsu, so it's a little bit less intense as far as you're not trying to strike each other and go boom, 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 and move around a lot. You're more on the ground and being very methodical in your movement. So the cardio can be a little bit more of an endurance style cardio, so a little bit slower pace, versus if you're doing, let's say, Taekwondo or kickboxing, MMA. Let's just stick to instructor for a second. So MMA, kickboxing, boxing, and Taekwondo, and even let's say continuous sparring in maybe sports karate or something like that line. Depending on the circuit, depending on your classes, it can be 1 minute rounds, it can be 2 minute rounds, sometimes 3 minute rounds. You're working pretty hard. There is a certain amount of steady state and a certain high beats per minute, but then there's these classes where you engage and you might go at it for 20 or 30 seconds before disengaging. That can really spike that heart rate up and then it drops down a little bit. So, you can kind of reflect your training based on that. And then if it was more like MMA style, where you kind of go from striking to grappling, standing up, changing elevation to a lower elevation, going to the ground, so you can have real high intense cardio and then drop it for a little bit lower intense cardio, and then kind of high intensity, low intensity, high intensity, low intensity. So almost like HIIT training as well. So really just kind of pick the cardio that really reflects how your martial arts training is. And then, or maybe your goal, if you're not really like a competitor, maybe your goal, maybe you're just doing more recreational, or you're getting older and you're not competing anymore, or you just want to have good cardio and last longer in your particular classes, right? In general, martial arts, depending on the game of martial art, it could be quite intense, or it could be a little bit less intense, but we all know no matter if it's a little bit less or a little bit more intense, there's going to be definitely some intense classes and a lot of work being done, and you want to have the cardiovascular endurance to be able to last with your classmates. And the better cardio that you have, the better you're going to be performing all your various punches, kicks, throws, different grappling techniques, and so forth. So you just really want to have good solid cardio. Plus, having good cardio is just really good for your overall health. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of idea that yes, cardio is extremely important. You do get a lot of cardio in your martial art, but I also think it's extremely important to do other activities to improve your cardio. So we talked about treadmill, we talked about skip rope, different cardio machines, kettlebell, and in just different ways to do your cardio. You can also do bag work on heavy bag, a lot of mitt work, paddle work with a partner. I like working with a partner, and after speaking of partner, we also have a second channel. It's called Empowered, where Ma'am Cheryl Sanders and myself, it's kind of our second little business, little kind of project that we do, and we call it Empowered, and we at Empowered strive to help women and young girls build confidence and find their inner strength through defense and empowerment training. So you can actually go over to our other channel and check out all the self-defense videos. We do have some fitness videos on there, some sparring, and kickboxing mitt drills on there as well. So self-defense tips, go ahead and check that out. I'm going to put the links in the below description here. So go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. And I'll see you in the next video.